Gene's brother called me, sent me an email.
We have a word pile.
Oh, yes?
So we're just sitting out there. And he brings back the but then he says, where we're baking.
Yeah, Gene's been cut. I'm vice president of Big Hall. I knew your dad. He was on
Sure. And then for us, when I called this morning, I said, "Oh, and if you would like,
I remember the day.
whoever we did.
CP Club, I was working for CNS.
And down here, I can't get over it. Since we came, yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
What year? What year?
Well, yeah, good heart. I can get rid of this thing today. I'm very one yeah, I'll come here every 2 weeks. Got your coffee? No, I'm 5'8" now. I've always been 5'9". How's my girlfriend? Where? I got one too. You know, of course, yeah. Well, I know it's here, but I don't know it's here.
I'll come back, I promise.
Good to see you. You gotta talk next step. Prepare your seat for next trip.
I'll probably be about it.
Two chickens in there.
Bill, you want me to sit with you?
Have you already worked?
I haven't even looked at the menu.
I was going to say, I'm ready to order.
Oh, is this?
I think I'm going to order that real, but I think I can get
Yeah.
I like tilapia.
you get the select.
I don't have to cut it much.
I had to take care of that.
They have to.
Oh, somebody made a picture of me. Oh, that's good. These are really good.
You get about a dozen.
Get
Look at
another.
that strange one.
Yeah, it is. Did you get that good?
I do that every morning when I look at the
You want to flip one on?
Yeah, I
We
see.
did. I had a good show for today. Pick me up.
You lost weight.
That's what I told you the other day.
I wish. You have one.
Oh, no. No, I'm the same. I'm going to sit here.
We were all four of us.
Are you the one with order?
Yes, sir. I'll be right back.
Yeah, glad you did. You don't get up and take pictures. Latest thing, picked up something for Logan's.
I live with mine. I can't hear
I
anything.
could not stand up to hear what people were saying.
I couldn't.
Well, it got wet. I said, I don't even recognize that woman sometimes.
I feel like I was sitting but it's going to speak for it. He's scared to death. First speaking to then you're going in the, he went to the corporation. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I like that. One thing that'd be complicated. What's your opinion?
I've already ordered y'all.
Always been North
I don't live there. I think we're different. We both got a big nose. Oh, yeah. It's hard.
We're going to have to get a DNA test. Have you done the DNA?
Yeah. I've always said I was Scotch Irish according to my family.
I'm 30% Scandinavian. So I'm a Viking as much as I am an Irish.
Did the insurance cover your DNA for you?
No, you have to pay for it. Well, it's just $90. That's what you have. That's it.
You just say explain
Yeah, what?
I don't know where you're going to sit.
I think Lou. I'm not sure who's done what he made. That's good. I did lemon pepper. I don't like it. You gonna get a steak? You gonna try the steak? All right, I talked to Bobby speaking to me. And I feel bad about leaving him over there by himself. But I don't think that's too hard.
Fried or grilled?
No, they will not do it.
Oh, that sounds good.
Good bacon. I'm sorry. We just always let go 12 minutes, like 5 minutes. The ring got a lot of people.
Yeah, slowed down the crowd a little bit. Last time they showed up just after 12. Yeah. So we'll wait and see. Last time we had a crowd right at the last second.
Yeah.
See if they're working
They're
on
still coming. I know what.
Okay. Well, let's see how the questions how many.
Here's some coming in there.
Well, there you go. That's the way it works. You wait to the last minute to see if that rain's going to let up.
I'm already working.
That's good. And when we do, we still say in our groups. We can sit up because I really need that picture.
No.
It's scared to move.
Oh.
Y'all ordered over here?
He married. She got killed in the car.
That's something about that.
Hello, everybody. I guess it's time for us to get started. The rain has caused a lot of our folks not to come. We thank you all for coming. Some had to leave early, but before we get started, I want to tell you that our next meeting will be August the 8th. That's a Wednesday, right here. August the what? 8th of August. Thank you, Mr. Paul.
Well, you had some reverberation going on.
Mayor Hallman.
We make some announcements, and we'll thank Larry, Donna, all the staff setting up our situation here today. We have to set up a lot more people than we're going to be having. My gal Lou will be making pictures, so she'll come and smile. Over in the back is filming. We have a video of all the meetings. And where is Judith? Judith, do we have any new people here today for the first time?
That's why you moved. I thought we had over there.
I'm Carol Stevens, and I graduated in '65 and live here in Hapeville, and I love the riddle.
Did you say 55 or 60?
Who do you love? Julian?
Me, Candy Pruitt, born and raised here, graduated '65, youngest of 8, doing great.
Thank you, Judith. Hey, Mike.
Supposed to come hug me.
Now, Jess is up to your turn. Jess is going to give us our invocation.
Say something.
They got a stake and flags block here.
Lights, okay, stop.
Stand by.
Okay, let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to come together, share a fellowship with folks who have lived in Hapeville, some of them all their lives, and those of us who come back to visit. We pray in your name. Amen.
Thank you. Betty Barnett has something she wants to say.
I don't know where my mic was.
You know, years ago, you could mail a letter for 3 cents.
Move away from that speaker.
It's coming out of my hearing.
No.
Let's go away from the speaker.
Move away from the speaker. It's not this way. There you go.
Oh, okay. You could mail a letter for 3 cents. You can't do that anymore. It costs about 50 cents to mail a letter. And how many letters, Gene, do you send out? About 125 or 30 letters. And that can amount to a lot of money. Now, I'm going to send this around. And remember, you've been getting letters. He sends a whole lot more letters than I hear today. So let's all remember, costs more than 3 cents for a stamp today. So thank you very much. We just don't want him to have to go in the hole for our pleasure. If you do not have a name tag, our name tag lady had the vacation plan for this week. The name tags are over here with magic marker. So fix your name tag so we all know who you are. Thank you.
Yes, if you can take over there. You want to come up here?
All right, stand here. Unfortunately, it seems that every time we meet, there will have been some of our friends who have passed away. So I just want to read a few of them since the last time we met. I apologize that I don't know her married last name, but Connie Swicegood, sister of Carlton Swicegood, class of 57, passed away. Bev Jones, class of 43, and Bill Trouble, class of 43. Jerry Douglas, in my class of 55. Those of you who may remember Nell Douglas, the math teacher, she was his son. He was her son. We have a couple who have lost their husband. Pat Hallman Singleton, class of 53. Her husband Kurt Singleton passed away this week. And Joe Little Digby, the husband of Mary Lee Geary Digby, class of 59. It was requested, we have here the class of 1951, those who have passed away. Some of them we've mentioned before, but we're going to mention them quickly right now. These have all passed away. Janet Baker Foster, Thomas Pierce Bentley, Harvey O'Neill Bannister, Roy Aldine Barrow, Nora Bevel Brown, Joseph Gilbert Bishop, Virginia Lee Blaylock, Erlene Bowles, Barbara Jean Brown, William Jerry Bryce, Durwood Beasley Cason, Nellie Lou Cook Keller, Donald Clifton Daly, Marvin Ernest Gazaway, Charlotte Lee Gresham Stembridge, Everett Hope Griffin, Wilfred G. Hammett, Robert Talmadge Parton, Darrell Neil Haynes, Lawrence Johnson, Joanne Kerr, Barbara Ann Lewis Williams, Catherine Lewis Lindsay, Carolyn Ann Lovelace, Richard Gustine Mitchell, Robbie Montine Powell, Beckelheimer, Paula Evelyn Ransel, Jesse Ray, Marilyn Rosencrantz Gillespie, James W. Saber, Charlie Virginia Simons, Marilyn Smith Strickland, Ruth St. Clair Pope, Floyd Paul Taylor, Miles Leonard Taylor, Barbara Watkins Glass, Robert Coy Wynn, Virginia Estelle Yeffel Eller. And that's it. We pray for all these folks. Thank you. Carol?
Hi, I'm Carol Cobb. I did not go to Hapeville High School, I went to Hapeville. However, I had lots to do with plenty of kids who went to Hapeville High School because I taught at Josephine Wells Elementary for 18 years. Yes, and I've got other creds that tie me to Hapeville too. I actually have lived here on and off since 1954 when we first moved here. I went to St. John the Evangelist Catholic School. I was the first class to start in the first grade and go all the way through the 8th grade. And then my siblings followed after that. There were 4 others. It was a church at that time. Also, our kids went to St. John's. I'm married to Don Cobb, who did grow up here and did go to Hapeville High. So those are my Hapeville credentials in addition to Joe Wells. I do have lots of ties here. And I live here now. Moved back again. Now, I have a question. How many of you went to Josephine Wells Elementary? Anybody? Yay. Okay. How about your kids? Any kids? Anybody have kids who went there? Grandkids? Okay. So everybody else was College Street or North Avenue, I guess. Actually, I spent a couple of years part-time at North Avenue. When I started teaching, I was teaching Spanish, if you can believe that, way back in 1971. I taught part-time. I'd go into a classroom, 6th and 7th grade, for 15 minutes at a time, twice a week, and try to teach the kids Spanish. Well, that was tough. I had Joe Wells, I had North Avenue, and I had another school in East Point, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it. It no longer exists, and I have no clue what it was. But after a couple of years of that, I decided that was not the way to go. So I went back to Georgia State. Where's our Georgia State guy? And got my master's in elementary education and started teaching 4th grade. So I taught 4th through 7th, the time that I was at Joe Wells. Now, my sordid history is coming up now. When I started teaching Spanish, I was Mrs. Carter. Okay, so I did that a couple of years. Then I became Mrs. Wingo, which is what most of the kids who went to Joe Wells that I taught know me as, because that was 15 or 16 years that I was there as Mrs. Wingo. And you know, needless to say, I still run into lots of kids that I taught, or their friends, or whoever still being around Hapeville. So after I did that, they decided to come up with this concept of middle school. Well, I guarantee you I wanted no part of a whole building full of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade kids. So I backed off. I went back down to 5th grade. And about that time, I also became assistant principal, part-time assistant principal. Tom Roberts was principal just about the whole time that I was there. Hazel Scraggs took his place the last couple of years. I was there until 1989, when I became Mrs. Cobb. So, and we've managed to make it. I've been Mrs. Cobb for 29 years now, so I think I'm good. I'm done. I can't train another one at this point. Things were different when I taught there, needless to say. I don't know that I could do it these days. Things have changed, so I just don't think I could handle it. But some examples. I had a little boy the first year that I taught 4th grade, and I won't tell you his name, But he would go around the classroom under all the desks, barking like a dog. Okay, obviously this is before they came up with special classes for kids, so I dealt, you just dealt with it at that time. I had another little boy. Obviously at Joe Wells, everybody lived close by and they probably walked or came in car, but there were no buses. So you could keep kids after school. Okay, well that was a good punishment to call their parents, say they're going to stay after school. I had another little boy. This is when McDonald's came up with the Big Mac, the little jingle they have, two beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, onions on a special sesame seed bun. This little boy said it over and over, and it made me nuts. Finally, I lost it. So Julia Manus was an assistant principal at that time, and she was across the hall from me. So I sent him over to her, said, you take him, I've had it. So she kept him after school. She kept him after school and made him say it over and over and over and over and over till he was in tears. So that took care of that issue. And, thinking about all the bullying that goes on now, don't think for a minute that it hasn't always gone on. One particular incident, I remember this poor little boy that I had in my class. He came out of the restroom one day and said, "Miss Wingo, they're trying to crush my head down the mode." Oh, honey, so I got after him, but, bullying is nothing new. Unfortunately, it does still go on, and luckily we are addressing it more now, but there was plenty of it back then, too. There were a few events that went on while I was at Joe Wells. Do any of you remember when Joe Wells caught fire? I think it was 1984. I know my son was playing t-ball. Anyway, somebody piled up a bunch of textbooks in my classroom. I was on the lower level of Joe Wells in the back, on the end toward the ball fields. Somebody piled up textbooks one night and set them on fire, and so that burned up that bottom floor of the school. So I did get to teach at Hapeville High School for a little bit because they sent us. We had to walk over. I got my class every morning. We'd walk over to Hapeville High, and I'd teach them there in one of the classrooms, and then bring them back for dismissal. So I did spend a little time sort of teaching at Hapeville High. I taught the first Vietnamese kids who came to Hapeville. I was teaching 4th grade, and I had a couple of sweet, sweet Vietnamese kids. And of course, this was before the ESOL program, so there I was again, just doing the best that I could, trying to help these kids through school. And of course, it was a wonderful experience, and I have had lots of them since then, and they were all really something special. A funny story, I was teaching, this was the 6th grade, and this was 1989, okay, I was engaged to Don Cobb at that time. Well, I had his niece in my 6th grade class. So she found out that I was going to marry her uncle. So we were sitting in reading group, and she makes this big announcement how Miss Wingo is going to marry my uncle. So we had a few issues after that, but we survived. And of course, you know how hot it is in the summer. Well, the whole time I was at Joe Wells, oh no, we could never air condition this building. There's just no way we could air condition it. And the minute they closed it as a school and made it offices, what they do? Put in the air conditioners. Yeah, so took out the windows, put in the ACs, and just went right on their merry way. And having taught so long in the same place, I taught so many siblings. And I learned that birth order makes such a big difference. I taught so many really, really wonderful first-born children, and then I taught the second-born. Well, not quite the same. And having had kids myself, I know that second child is just hell on wheels, almost always. So when I knew that if I had one sibling and their next one was coming up, just get ready, because it followed that pattern all the way through. And closing a little bit of how things come back around. I was at the Family Life Ministries brunch on Saturday. Linda Williams was there, and she said, "Oh, Carol, here's Michelle." Well, I looked at this grown woman, and I said, "Michelle who?" And she said, "Michelle Sullivan." I'm like, "Oh, it was Barney's daughter, granddaughter, I don't remember. Barney was mayor when I was teaching there." So I had taught Michelle. So we caught up a little bit. She's moving back to Hapeville, she and her family. She has a couple of boys, one graduated from college, one from high school, and they both play baseball. So she is moving to Hapeville. I asked her where. So I don't know if you know, but in 2000, we left Hapeville in 2000. Until then, we lived over on North Woods Drive with the swimming pool. So we sold that house on North Woods to Ann and Janet, who I know a lot of you know. Well, it turns out that Michelle Sullivan and her husband had bought the house from Janet and Ann. I said, "Oh my goodness, I taught you in the 7th grade, and here you are going to live in this house that I spent all those years in." So if you hang around long enough, it's all going to come back to you. Thanks.
Hello. Everybody say hello to each other. Now, everybody say thank you to each other. Thank you. Now, why don't we say thank you? I am tired of hearing no problem. Have you ever noticed you go to a store, you walk all around it, finally find what you want, you carry it up to the counter, you pay the girl, and you say thank you, and she says no problem. I hope this wasn't a problem, lady. I didn't mean it to be. I just wanted something. Back chewing gum. I lived in Hapeville from 1935 to 1941. I don't have much memory of the first 4 years. Beyond that, I remember my first day at North Avenue Grammar. Children were walking up and down the street, just about a dozen. And my mother said, "Now, son, you wait here at the end of the driveway, and when Sonny Rawls comes by," he was 2 years older than me, "walk through with him to show you what to do." So I waited on my friend Sonny. He carried me up, we walked in the door, and just as we walked in on the left, he says, "Now, this is the principal's office. And you've got to remember not to go into that principal's office for anything. Do not get in trouble. She has a wooden leg. And if you get in trouble, she'll take it off and hit you in the head with it." I'm 5 years old. That scared the mortal devil out of me. I had to tell you, for 2 years I went to North Avenue School. I never walked by that door again. There was another entrance. If I saw her coming down the hall, I ran. The first meeting I came to, Bob invited me to come. There was that leg sitting over there in the cage. I almost turned around and left. Come to find out she was one of the sweetest people in the world. That was my first memory of Hapeville High School. Then right up the street, we lived, I think, 4 or 5 doors up from Stewart Avenue. On one side was Mr. Daniel's service station, on the other side was Mr. Ford's station. And every Sunday, all of the kids would go up and roller skate in the parking lot. It was paid. And kids had a good time. They were outdoors playing. How many of you go to any neighborhood, anywhere now, and see a child in the yard? They're all sitting in there mashing buttons. My mama made me get out of the house when they me in that time to eat or study or go to bed, you know. And I don't blame her either, because I'm kind of a mess in that. But anyway, today I want to tell you about what my claim to fame to Hapeville was. I married Miss Hapeville. 1953, my wife Margaret Brown, Miss Hayes. And I don't think that makes me look able. We married in 1954. She graduated from Hapeville High School. 54 in June, and in August we got married. 7 months and 3 days later we started a family. We had 3 beautiful children together. Margaret represents Miss Hapeville very well. She became school teacher, a school secretary for Fulton County Board of Education. She became a real estate broker. She was a fine mother. She was a Sunday school teacher. She's in the Alpha tennis team, of which they named the trophy after her. January the 23rd of '82, she went to heaven. 1 year ago today, our oldest son joined his mother in heaven. Hapeville has meant so much, been so blessed for me and my family. Margaret had a brother, and I had a problem understanding their situation for a long time because her last name was Beard, Margaret Beard. I thought her brother Larry's name was Get Out of the Pool Hall because he was 3 years younger than Margaret. He was 13. I would bring Margaret home from a date, and Margaret's mother would say, "Bobby, would you go get Larry out of the pool hall?" He's still in the pool hall on that age. He won't walk in there while I'm here. He stays there. Larry is my brother. He's not my brother, no. He's my brother. I love him.
Yeah, that's called 4-5.
I love Hastings.
So,
I think the Fulton Picture Show because somebody else preferred the picture show.
Yeah, they did, and then when Paul did it, he put it to test.
It's been so much for me in my life.
They didn't know what was going on, so they put it to test.
Movie house, I guess I ever remember going to.
I can't control. I can't control.
A few things I remember about it was, y'all remember Captain Marvel, serial picture. Well, I'm like 6 years old, and I go up on Saturday like all other kids, it's matinee, and Captain Marvel's first picture was there, and the usher was standing there handing out comic books if you walked in. I took one, I looked at him, and I said, "If I got to give it back to you, you want to leave?" He looked at me and said, "Yes, do you think you're going to leave in the dark?" If I had that comic book today, I'd go buy me a new pickup truck. It's been something. How many, does anybody remember Gene?
Oh, yeah.
Do they remember Roy? Do they remember Hockey? What was Gene's horse name? Captain. What was Roy's horse name? Trigger. What was Hockey's horse name? Cobb. Okay. Now we had heroes back then. We had good heroes. You know what? The good guys and the bad called the color of the hats they wore, you know. But then, one of my heroes, which was Gene, later on in life, I found out more about it. He was a very, very good businessman. And he grew up in hard times. He grew up in Southwest Texas. His daddy was a horse trader. And Gene's first job worked for telegraph. He went to work for the railroad. He was in that little station practicing guitar one day, and a guy walked in named Will Rogers. Did anybody remember Will? And he listened to him and he said, "Boy, y'all take that guitar and go do something." Well, Gene ride on the railroad for free back then. You know, they didn't have airplanes flying too much. And so on his vacation, he took his guitar and he went to Chicago free on the train. And they heard him play. And they hired him. And his first record, he sold the first $1 million record that was ever sold. It was a single, it was called That Silver Hair Daddy of Mine. A lot of people think he made his money in the movie, but he didn't. He made his money in music, and he bought radio stations all the way across the country. He had dozens of radio stations. He never ever hired a business manager. He managed his own money. He had a 42,000 acre ranch out in Barnett, and he had a Wild West show. And he carried all over the world. And Gene enjoyed a good drink. He really did. Sometimes he enjoyed one a little too much. And he went over with his show, the Wild West show, to Europe, performed in front of the Prince of England. Now, it's set up to where she was in her booth, right there at the front, and Gene was to come in on his horse Champion and run around the ring with the spotlight on him and come in front of her and rear Champion up. He comes out, he runs around, he has a he jumps down and the rears up and he falls off the Champion and goes between the ankles. He gets up and he dusts himself off. He says, I've got to find a better way to get off this damn horse. And this was the kind of humor you know. We had people, and Gene Autry also went into the United States Army and flew an airplane for 30%. So I just think of people like that. And I wish our kids today had, well, he wrote like, I wonder, you know, our mothers on a Sunday morning, my parents woke up, turned the radio, and all of a sudden sirens and football started going. We lived at 647 North Avenue. And still the number of that house there with my check. Whistles started blowing, sirens going, and people ran outside and looked up in the air. Japanese pilots on the floor of paper. Okay, just armed Pearl Harbor. April was ordered by Fort Gillham and Fort Mac and Lafitte. Hartsfield, Jackson. Next day, all the guys was lined up for going church. Right now, every day, retired Navy. The women had to go become the husbands and the wives because the men were coming. What did they do? They put on scarves over their heads and they put on dungarees and they went to work in the factory. This country from December of 41 changed in less than 30 days. They formed a draft. You have to know that about 32% of the people that went to be drafted were turned down because of malnutrition, which was a hangover from the Great Depression we just come out of. So they dropped the standard so that we could get enough men to go. High school boys were quitting their school and going in line about their age to go to fight for our country. We went to war. We won that. The guys come back home and what did they do? They built our country. They set examples. You know, today, the world is heroes of World War II, men and women. God bless them. And I want to thank each one of y'all today. It's kind of hard to come up here. This is an anniversary, the first year that I lost my oldest son. Mom. You know what? You'd be proud to know that y'all are still here in this beautiful city of Hapeville. I thank y'all for listening to me. I thank you for coming. I love each one of you. I'm going to tell you one thing, folks. Last words I told my wife, I love her. Last words I told my son about her. You never know what you're going to see. Tell the people who see that you love them.
Thank you, Bobby. Ellen?
I was just saying, I was telling Don Cobb, they were talking about enjoying a good drink. I've enjoyed a bad drink. It's time for two. I'm Alan Hallman. I'm graduated from Hapeville High School in the class of 1980. I went to Hapeville, not Hapeville Elementary, to North Avenue Elementary School, all through elementary school. So I was born here. Carol, you didn't say anything about what happens when the third child comes along. So I was the third child. I guess we're really in trouble. My teacher, Miss Thorpe in high school, called my mother one time and said, Miss Hallman, your son is an instigator. So I've grown up being an instigator. And, it's a title I don't mind wearing, actually. So I've been the mayor of Hapeville for like 13, 14 years now. Served on city council for 20 years. So I've seen a lot of change come along in Hapeville. But I have to thank your generation for laying the foundation that you laid, not only in the country, as he was talking about a moment ago, but for this city, because our founding fathers did such a great job of making Hapeville what it is today. The thing I enjoyed the most about growing up in Hapeville is the small town feel that we had, when you could go out and play, when the street lights came on, it was time to go home. You didn't have to worry about anybody messing with you. I mean, there were some creepers that would try to pick you up and stuff like that, but we all stuck together. And, you know, they weren't going to mess with 10 people. They might have been trying to mess with one. But I could stand up here all day and talk about memories I have. The earliest memory I have as a child is standing in my diaper on what is now Interstate 85 when they had just graded Interstate 85 going towards the airport. So that goes way, 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 way back. Grew up on Springdale Road on the dead end when we had clean creeks to play in. My neighbor, Miss Looney, had 2 ponds with big old, huge goldfish in them. Never could catch those damn goldfish. We tried, but we never could catch those goldfish. I remember the clean creeks. I remember just the childhood friends and the band of friends that we hung around with, and how great that was and how much of a difference that made. The city of Hapeville and all of you that have been a part of it have instilled values in my generation that I'm afraid are fading fast right now. You taught us how to work. You taught us how to take care of our neighbor. You taught us how to care. And you taught us how to promote and support our community. The younger generation, I'm scared to death of what happens to our country when it's handed off to the younger generation. Because I just don't know. I was talking to a friend of mine that retired from being a music teacher. And he was talking about, he taught at Riverwood High, and he was talking about at Riverwood, a lot of their kids are from Sandy Springs, and when it came time for recess, they wouldn't want to go outside. They want to sit in and play with their phones because they didn't want to go outside and sweat because they might get dirty. And I'm just afraid that we're raising a generation that's not going to work as hard as especially as your generation. And generation after generation, it just seems to, that care about country and honor and brotherhood and sisterhood seems to get farther and farther from us. So I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the groundwork that you laid, as I said, for this country and for this community. I'm proud to call Hapeville home. I'm 55 years old. I was born here, and I've never left. I haven't left yet, and really don't plan on leaving unless I can get a beach house somewhere. But I've enjoyed serving the city. I've enjoyed seeing some of the changes that Hapeville's gone through. Last night, we had a city council meeting, and afterwards, Mike Rest and I went to the Ceremonies Hotel and set up on the rooftop lounge and overlooking the airport in Portia, and enjoyed a dinner and a couple of beers. And I'm really proud to say I was here when that came to pass. So Hapeville's come a long way. Not all of it's been good, not all of it's been bad, but we still managed to have that small town charm, and people still like coming here. So, yeah.
About Saturday night.
On the. They're having a drive at Ceremonies Hotel. They're having drive-in movie nights, and they're going to feature movies that have Porsches in them. And the first one is Risky Business with Tom Hanks. And so that is this Saturday? Okay. That's this Saturday, I guess at dusk. I'm not sure. I don't remember the time right off the top of my head. That should be really, really fun. Tom Cruise. Who did I say? I said Tom Hanks. Tom Cruise. Yeah. Thank you for correcting me. So yeah, I hope you'll come out and enjoy that. That should be interesting. You'll be able to pull in the parking lot, turn your radio on, to a search station on the FM band, and pick up the sound and enjoy the movie. So that should be fun. We've seen a lot of great changes, and if you haven't seen the Porsche headquarters over there, go check it out. It's a pretty neat thing to see. It hasn't replaced Ford and what Ford did for Hapeville, but it's a great addition to our community. We're really glad to have it. So thank you so much for all your generation did. Thank you for sharing the memories with us, and we appreciate you. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it. Folks, we're looking for volunteers. If anybody wants to come up and talk at our next meeting, kindly contact me. Our next meeting again is going to be August the 8th. A couple of announcements. Tommy Eves was supposed to help us out today, and Tommy's had some medical problems. He said he'd be with us the next, which will be today. Gloria Holden was to give our invocation, and she's sick. This is the first time she's missed a step, I think. Anybody have any other announcements they want to talk about? Somebody? Anybody? If not, thank you all for coming. See you August 8th. And I want you to know there's sunshine out there now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My daughter.
So you don't want your
You mean the oldest sister? Older sister. You do it today. We've been camping, you know, so we've been camping together for a long time.
Oh, yeah, you like that high.
You're telling me I married his mother.